Hey, what's up, guys? Kaiser here, and I'm coming at you with another episode of our podcast. You've seen a few that we've done. We have done book reviews. I think that's all we've done up to this point. But I want to get into some more subjects that really pertain to the struggle that we're all having if you're an active fitness goer, if you're a boot camper. And today's subject is, why does unhealthy food, which you're going to see flashing on the screen next to me, why does it taste so good? Now, that's one of the biggest problems with losing weight, maintaining weight, or preventing yourself from not gaining weight, which is the same as maintaining weight. It's that unhealthy food is out there, and you want it, and once you have it, you want more of it, and it's almost like the game isn't fair, that you have to be like a monk when it comes to eating, that you can't even have a morsel of anything that tastes good, or else you're going to gain weight. And it's a pretty sad thing. Again, it's one of the reasons why getting in shape is so tough, because you want to go to a restaurant, you want to meet up with a friend, a couple of drinks, maybe a couple of glasses of wine are involved, some bread, an appetizer, and before you know it, you've completely eliminated a week's worth of results. And why is a game like that? It shouldn't be that hard, but the fact is it is. So if we bring this subject out into the open, if we discuss it, if we bring it to the surface, maybe we'll all understand it a little bit better, and it'll be something we'll be able to cope with. Now, first off, with everything, with all the subjects I'm going to be talking about in these videos, a lot of it comes down to our evolution and the way that humans have lived before our modern times, and the way the body was designed to behave and act. So the modern age that we're in now is only 100, maybe at most 200 years old, at this real industrial type of age we're in. Before that, and if we're really talking about going back thousands and thousands of years, all of the processed foods, these delicious foods that we all overdo every now and then, they didn't even exist. If you look in nature, there is no form of processed sugar that exists anywhere. There is fruit in nature, but natural fruits are completely different from the fruits that we buy in the supermarket. Those fruits have agriculturally been bred to have more sugar content, to be tasty. Even the colors have been bred into that fruit. So in nature, sure, there was fruit, it had sugar content, didn't taste as good, and the sugar content was different in it. Besides that, the only other place where you can get raw, pure sugar, well, there is sugar cane. It's a natural type of plant. Again, it has been bred over time. And if you've ever tasted sugar or dealt with like actual sugar cane, I'm talking about on the plant, it's not like a fruit at all. It's actually kind of like breaking off a branch of a tree. You have to chew it. You've got to do something to it to get the sugar out. So again, it is not an easily consumed form or source of sugar. Then there's honey that you get from a honeycomb. And everyone, I'm sure you can imagine how hard that is to get. You have to fight off a bunch of bees in order to get that. So when people were cavemen and they wanted some honey to sweeten their sweeten their coffee, well, they had to work pretty hard to get it. They had to get stung by a lot of bees in order to get just a little bit of sugar. So that has never existed in nature. Now, what else is there? There's fatty foods. There is fat. That also has been very hard to come by in a natural environment. The only place you can really get it is from the fat of animals. And the hunting process, killing animals, we've come a long way in that as a civilization, obviously. Now we don't hunt animals at all. But even when hunting became more advanced, that is a more advanced way that humans have lived. Before that, they had to chase down their animals, practically risk dying themselves. So if you're consuming a lot of fat from an animal, the idea is that you burnt a lot of calories in order to get it. So The two primary things, the main things that people make mistakes with, fat, sugar, don't exist in nature. So now they are abundant around us everywhere. And they're abundant in the form of snack foods and all of the fast food out there. And those foods in particular, there's a book, it's going to flash over here on the screen. The name of it was, I can't remember the name of it.
Salt, sugar.
Yeah, something about salt and sugar. Yeah.
Salt, sugar, fat.
Salt, sugar, fat. Exactly. Thank you, Artie. So yeah, that salt, sugar, fat book just talks about how the food industry and the fast food industry has, I'm talking about breeding, has designed their food to be addictive. That they will do focus groups, they'll do studies, they'll actually turn things that are healthy, something like yogurt, will end up having way more calories and sugar than candy will. And it's just so that people will consume more of the food, and obviously that ends up having a lot of negative health effects. So that's just the bottom line, gang, that the game has been somewhat rigged against you. First off, with your own biology. Your body was not meant to eat the foods that we have in our environment. And secondly, the foods in our environment have been treated, doctored, designed to become addictive. Once you have some, you crave more of it. Also, it does something negative to you biologically. When you have a lot of sugary foods, you start to become insulin resistant. You need more of the food. Your taste buds change. Healthy food starts to taste bad to you because you expect your foods to be salty and to have a lot of sugar. So what's the answer? We need some solutions. So now we understand the problem. Now you're aware of the problem. You're not floating around in the matrix, kind of not knowing what's going on. The solution is that you have to make the change. You have to break yourself off of the addiction. And it is a real addiction. So weaning yourself off of those foods, getting rid of sugar, anyone, like any member I talk to or anyone that you know or you yourself can relate that once you stop having sugary foods, you just don't want them anymore. You don't crave them in the same way. You don't crave them in the same quantities. And actually having them again can force you to relapse, just like a drug addict. So cutting them out of your diet. And sure, there's the negative that you're not having these foods you like, but then there's the positive that you have the body you want, that you have a great body. So it's a cost-benefit type of thing. The benefit is definitely going to outweigh the pleasure of the cost, which is having those bad foods. That being said, you also can occasionally have unhealthy foods. We don't have to be perfect over here. Your body does not require you to be perfect. You know, you're never going to be able to maintain some level of perfection with your eating or some level of perfection with your body, meaning that say you really got in shape for your wedding or vacation, it's not realistic that you're going to always stay in that shape. So you do have some leeway. The problem is when we make the mistakes over and over again. So I guess the bottom line, the lesson from today's podcast, guys, is that the foods are out there. They are designed to taste good. Even the environments in which we consume them are designed to be appealing. If you saw my $50 burger video, you'll notice that when I was walking in to McDonald's, I was commenting on how amazing the place looks. The purpose of that video was to show you how easy it is to order unhealthy food. You don't even have to talk to a person anymore. And when it comes to the restaurant industry and all those things, if you've ever been to a restaurant like Tao, it's just an experience with live music, with art, with all types of things that are making it very, very easy for you to have to overeat on unhealthy food. And the more that happens, the more you're going to be totally away from your goals. So the bottom line, again, guys, is that we're aware of what's going on. We're starting to see the code in the matrix, that there are these major multi-billion-dollar companies that are depending, their stock price and all of those things are depending on getting us addicted to their foods. And secondly, that our own biology is fighting it, and our taste buds, things like that, and the insulin resistance is changing as a result of those foods. The answer is weaning yourself off. It's going to be more in tune with your the way your body's meant to be, the way your body's meant to live and meant to function, and the benefits. First off, the look, how you look, and secondly, how you function is going to improve so that the benefits definitely outweigh the restrictions or whatever that come with your eating. So again, guys, the bottom line is the fight is worth it. Keep in there. Keep putting up the fight. You know, boot camp to some degree almost becomes easy. You have the people that you like to see here. You have the trainers that make it fun. And the workout itself is something that you start to enjoy, that you start to miss if you don't do it. So now that you have that part easy, this workout game, the entire part of it, the weight loss or weight maintenance game, the entire part is not going to be easy. Nothing in life that's worthwhile is easy. The part you're going to have to work on is the eating. Finding the right foods, making sure they're cooked, making sure they're ready, available at all times, and oftentimes saying no to foods that you shouldn't be having. So a little bit of restriction will go a long way. So that's it for today, guys. That we know that there's bad foods out there. We know that we like them, but we still have to say no to them most of the time. So I hope you liked today's episode and it gave you some value, and you'll be hearing from me again soon. Take care.